Welcome back to another video, ladies and gentlemen. Sending out a lot of love. Remember, take fate into your own hands. This is Sons of the Forest, everything we know so far with the devs by IGN. Let's check it out. I am a survival game enthusiast. Nah, I love me some survival games though. Let's go. Let's kick in. Let's kick in. Boom.
Sons of the Forest is mere months
Shout out to my patrons.
away, and if you're like us, you're desperate to know what's going on in the world of cannibals, deadly mutants, and poorly built gazebos. So, with a bit of help
Poorly built gazebo shot at all the players.
from the developers themselves, and what we could piece together from the trailers, here's everything we know so far about Sons of the Forest.
That thing is slinging babies. Oh yeah, I remember the trailer. It got sent to me a long time ago. Is it multiplayer? Realistic building mechanics.
A core pillar to surviving in the first game was building structures, whether a temporary shelter to survive your first night, or a time-consuming log cabin. You'd flip between pages in your survival guide, select a build, plunk it down, and start collecting resources to chuck it into your floating blue ghost structure.
Yes,
this
sir.
time, it looks like N-Night has made some big changes to the way we build, taking a far more immersive approach. Need a foundation for your cabin? Pick up a log, chop it in half, and place it down yourself. How about a defensive wall? Swing your axe to carve out the spikes just like you
Oh heck fucking no. Now I'm not gonna lie, the more hardcore and immersive survival games get, I think the best one I've seen that's super hard, that is like an underdog or flying under the radar, is Subsistence. But I also like that kind of mix of survival games where it's not too fucking intense like this. Damn. Sometimes you just want to put up some spiked walls real quick.
could in real life.
But that's
Based
cool,
on the
yeah.
trailers, Sons of the Forest is
Hanging
shaping
up
up to be a
tarp.
more interactive experience,
Yeah.
with new realistic actions and animations breathing life into the world.
They really are in that forest. They are working with these items. Bringing in the idea of having more animations tied to the interaction of these items just helped keep the player in the immersion. So no 2D screens of just this and this craft.
But keeping the player immersed
I like that you guys got, more innovative with it though.
doesn't just stop at building, it also applies to crafting animations too. When crafting weapons like a spear, you're now treated to the animation of your character taping up 2 sticks and using a knife to sharpen one end, in order to hunt for some food.
Did you just eat the turtle raw? They did that for the video.
The world of the forest can be a pretty brutal place, full of dark caves and disgusting mutants. But at least it's not a lonely one. Although the forest had multiplayer, it now appears Sons of the Forest has other friendly characters to interact with.
So yeah, there's other characters in the world who aren't the typical enemy types, and they'll help you or maybe give you some information about the game or the story and help you lead you through the world.
Surprisingly, one of these characters is a type of enemy we've previously faced while playing the forest. Peppered throughout the various trailers are shots of a friendly Virginia-type mutant, working and fighting alongside the main character. While typically being an enemy you'd want to avoid, this Virginia is unlike any you might have encountered before. We're not sure how this unlikely partnership begins in-game, but having someone who can
Is it really called the Virginia? Or is it because people were calling it the Vag Monster? Because isn't that what people were calling
dual-wield a shotgun and a pistol seems pretty useful. But she might not necessarily be the only help you can get. In the Game Awards trailer, an armed soldier can be seen leading the player through a forest, but it's unclear whether or not this is another
cool.
co-op player or someone who can be found in the game world.
That doesn't look like a co-op player. This looks like this shot right here, if that's another co-op player, is crazy because that looks like a cinematic shot, which is wild. This absolutely looks
forest,
cinematic.
but it's
this looks like an NPC leading you.
Unclear whether or not this is another co-op player or someone who can be found
Heck no, the way they hop over the log, that has to be an NPC leading you down a guided path.
in the game
Unless the animations are that crazy now.
world.
There's no way. That's insane. Smarter AI. Oh no.
While you might not
Okay. Some of the points of survival games, depending on how hard they are, I am learning through Valheim that some survival games can get difficult. Nah, Subsistence is harder than that to me, but in Valheim, I'm getting raided right now while trying to build my base for the second boss event where they keep raiding you, the forest creature, not the forest creature one, not Ichthyr's one, but the elder fucking event where the Grey Wards, I think that's what they're called. I can't remember their name right off the top of my dome. And the shamans fucking keep coming to your base. I got the event like 3 times in a row, unluckily. Died, lost a lot of, I don't know if I had experience protection, but man, I was dying over and over. And I was beating it pretty good, but I died like a lot because I was just trying to focus on the building. Obviously killing them when they were there. But smarter AI with what they're coupling together with the animations feels like it's going to make it difficult, because wasn't there raids in the forest, and in survival games you're trying to get a base up quick, so hopefully they're a little bit more forgiving early game for you to get a significant base put down, because you know, I feel like in Valheim what I'm learning is, if you, depending on the areas you move, don't get too close to the Black Forest, but or just build your base before you build a hefty base before you beat Ichthir, and then that event I don't think will happen, but nonetheless.
Not realize it at first, the cannibals found within the forest can be a crafty bunch. Not only do you have to deal with various tribes, each with their own behavior patterns and difficulty, but you also have to consider what tactics they'll use against you depending on the time of day. With Sons of the Forest, it appears Endnight Games have taken their AI systems a step further, improving on what we saw in the first game by adding smarter gameplay systems. In this trailer, cannibals can be seen actively tearing down the player base, as well as trying to steal resources from them too. Clearly a step up from the encounters in the first game.
No, bro. Like, that is going to be monstrous. I stopped it at 333. That's going to be a fucking pain in the ass to deal with.
AI in the first game was pretty hard-coded.
So you must be able to make a village of NPCs that can defend your base when you're gone, because why would you want this? I don't know. Maybe they're taking, I like the direction they're going. We need game devs like this, though. I like the direction they're going. I don't see this as any bad changes. I just know it's going to be a pain in the ass.
Explicit interactions were designed, though a lot of it was designed in a way that made it feel very organic. And we really wanted to take that idea and actually like really build it.
They made a survival game.
Have thoughts, have fear.
We get glimpses of these new, smarter enemies throughout the trailers. From enemies hiding away to ambush you at the right moment, to the player being able to scare the cannibals away if they've intimidated them enough. We can't wait to see what else they can do.
Yeah, that's sick.
With a sequel, inevitably comes new toys, and Sons of the Forest is no exception. In what appears to be some kind of bunker, you'll come across a 3D printer, a first for the series, and an entirely new way to craft unique resources.
They took the Watch Dogs 2 route.
We only get a single glimpse as to what's created, a red mask, which can be used to blend in with the local population. Although we don't know much beyond its initial appearance, it does seem to have some use beyond just mask printing.
The idea of that is just to add another layer
That looks like it fucking says 90% blood, bro.
on that, so there might be things that you can't find, but you could create to fit with the world. The example might be the mask.
Endnight isn't shy about turning up the creep factor of the enemies you'll be facing, and based on the trailers released so far, we're already dreading some of these encounters. Here are the new nasties we've spotted so far.
Shoot, flinging baby.
In the reveal trailer, a massive hand can be seen dragging a soldier away. We're not sure what the full scale of this enemy is as of yet, but it might just be the biggest enemy we've seen so far. Next is a group of pale,
I didn't even peep that in the trailer.
faceless cannibals, and given the environment, could suggest that these fellas probably dwell deep underground in the game's various cave networks. Here we get our first look at the tall, gold masked wearing brute, who tosses a dead cannibal aside like a ragdoll. Given the mask, this could indicate a cannibal leader of some sort.
Or
this
a different,
can only be
or a different tribe. I hope that's a different tribe and not a cannibal leader.
described as the nastiest mix of split open appendages ever put to screen. You don't get much of a chance to see what it's capable of, but at least we know that a taser works well against it. And as if things couldn't get any worse, there's also an enemy conjoined by the hip, which can also crawl across walls. And lastly,
Disgusting.
another tall monstrosity which seems to be a mix of two mutants stacked on top of each other.
Such cool designs though, bro. They went off with the designs. You cannot knock the creative, artistic flow for these fucking creatures. I love it.
Delightful. It appears there's going to be no shortage of new enemies to deal with in Sons of the Forest, but that doesn't mean the ones you faced in the past aren't getting any love either.
We've sort of taken a lot of the archetypes from the first game and sort of rethought them or reimagined them in some degree. Feeling we took from the first game, which is like how they interact with you, like the screaming and sort of the sort of tribal nature of the enemies.
He
We
just
sort of
knocked
kept that,
his boy out.
And the creepies have the same sort of components that we wanted, but we've just turned it up as much as we can.
Exploring the forest is a tough job, and bringing the right weapon with you could be the difference between life or death. Thankfully, it's looking like Sons of the Forest has significantly expanded its arsenal of weapons.
We've added a lot more ballistic style weapons, so like the pistols and shotgun and the taser, as you said, and then a range of new melee weapons. The forest had pretty basic stats on a lot of the weapons. There were certain mechanics as far as like block mechanics, but we've sort of tried to extend that out as far as like how functional they are and how they behave.
A small crossbow can briefly be seen, which should come in handy for precise shots against cannibals from afar, or even for hunting food. From the 16th century to the 21st century, a modern handgun has finally made its way to the peninsula, not only acting as a great offensive weapon, but it seems to be a pretty good tool for scaring off the cannibals too. Not present in the forest, the shovel is first seen being used to dig up some dirt, but we wouldn't be surprised if it could be equipped as a weapon too. The pump-action shotgun also makes an appearance and can seemingly be upgraded with a rail system, added scope, and even an extra shell holder on the side, featuring the added bonus of blowing off the cannibal's bone mask as well when fired at close.
Great writing there. Yeah, maybe the arsenal combined with the girl that you can equip her with the shotguns and guns. Maybe base defense isn't that bad, but the way they were tearing up that base, maybe that was just more of an extreme version, but hopefully like totems and stuff applied here will work, you know.
Range. There's even the addition of some non-lethal weaponry too, from a taser to a stun stick, just in case you're looking to go down the pacifist route.
Interesting.
Details regarding the story are slim, but from what we can piece together from the trailers and even the Steam store page, the premise seems closely aligned with the original. Swap out the crashed plane for a wrecked helicopter, a dad searching for his son to a group of soldiers searching for a missing target, and you've got yourself a good old-fashioned story of survival with a hint of cannibalism and, well, gazebo building. But there are a few things that caught our eye. We're shown a group of soldiers flying in the Sahara Therapeutics helicopter to an undisclosed location. Are we working for the company that started this mess in the first place? And where are we flying to? This could tie into the ending of the original game, with Timmy now being an adult and the person currently searching for Sight 2. Is Timmy, along with his father, a few of the targets we're looking for? Potentially, as the trailer might suggest, with two unknown characters saving what appears to be the protagonist. We're still a few months away from Sons of the Forest, but if you've got an itching for even more videos, make sure to stick.
Sons of the Forest is gonna be so fucking cool, and that's cool too. It's called Sons of the Forest, so it's like, yo, it's like the offspring of the forest. It makes it seem like it really does connect to the protagonist and the son of the last one. I guess we'll see. I have to truly go back to the forest, and I want to experience the game for myself and play it and, you know, beat the story and learn what's going on and really, you know, get engrossed in the world rather than watch it. I really do want to do that, but me watching a game never takes me off of not wanting to play. Like I said, I watched a lot of Valheim and all these builds, and now I'm in here kicking ass. So I might watch The Forest and see what the story's about, and then like go experience the game for myself, because I want to get prepared for Sons of the Forest. See, like, survival games are on the rise to me. They're really on the come up. Big old shout out to the devs. I'm about to rant real quick, so if you're done with the video, I'm going to say much love and Moonlight now if you want to click off. But this is for the devs. Devs, you're doing a beautiful job. I love that you guys are stepping into actually improving the immersion in the game, and we're getting developers back. And I always knew that this was going to happen eventually, but I always kept the belief in my heart that we were going to get devs who are caring about their game. So they're taking the route of making it more interactive, more animations, more immersive with the world, so that literally you feel like you're surviving in this world. And I do not disagree with the approach. I love it. Hopefully it all blends together and goes well at the day of launch. But the thing I will say is that hopefully it doesn't take away from at least the enjoyability of the game, or it's too intense to the point where a casual player can't enjoy it. See, Valheim's a bit difficult getting into it. There's things you got to learn and adapt to the game, but you do feel the progression when you make the progression, and it feels really worth it. And the building is absolutely awesome. The angles of access, the things you can create. I mean, look at the beautiful builds people are creating. I'm jealous. When it comes to the forest and looking at the base building, now it doesn't. I've seen videos. I'm trying to think of people do massive builds in the forest, but you wouldn't want these massive builds getting torn to shreds by. I would want to feel like I could build an absolute wooden empire in the forest and have defenses on all sides and just cannibal grinders. And there are those players that break the game and find that, but hopefully it's a little bit easy for casual players. Not easy, because if they don't intend their game to be easy, all right, but hopefully it's not that bad, because the animations with chopping the wood spike defense wall, that seemed I just wonder how it's all going to blend together, because they're just making the defenses at the top of the spiked wall, but then it was shown them ramming into the wall, still destroying it. So adding the spikes, does it truly matter? I just wonder. I don't know how it's all going to blend. Like I said, I have high expectations for Sons of the Forest, because honestly, if they are literally putting in the work they say, it just looks like an upgrade from the last game. So yeah, and I played a little bit of the last game. I didn't get wild far. I got it in the beginning when I didn't even remember there being too much of a crazy story. I got to the cave. I built a little tree base because I was so scared of the cannibals that I didn't want to be in the trees. But yeah, when I saw this stuff getting added to the forest, I was like, yo, this shit is awesome. But anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna get out of here. Much love, Moonlight. See you in the next one. Peace.